Alright everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So I did a proper channel update for the channel today. So that should be up on there by now. So go check that out. It's got information on what I've been up to, what's happening, what new series read-through is going to be covered on the channel, stuff like that. So go take a look if you haven't already. I'm not going to do too much of a intro here before we dive into Akane-Banashi. The only thing I do want to say before we get started is I want to thank everyone that has been supporting me thus far. Finally reached my current subscriber goal of 169 subscribers over the last couple of days. So I'm really grateful for everyone that subscribed, told everyone else to subscribe, was helping boost my content, supporting me, all that great stuff. It really has meant a lot to me. I really do love and appreciate you all for that. So thank you very much. And as always, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't already, please do consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, especially if you like this content. Like I said, it really does mean a lot to me. And like the channel updates will tell you, there's a lot of great content coming your way. So subscribe so you don't miss out. With that said, we're going to dive into it here with Akane-Banashi. Story, should be 76. I don't know why I went back to this one. Sorry, give me a second here. Sorry, sometimes this website is just a little bit screwy and it's kind of annoying. Come on. Already 75. Did I miss a chapter? Huh. No, the Shikisai festival. Is there... I don't know if this is just a weird error, but apparently it's just chapters have got the same titles, apparently. Alrighty then. Alright, never mind. We're not on the wrong chapter. We are on Story 75, the Shikisai Festival, which is apparently the same title as last chapters. It's kind of weird that they don't have a part 2 on there, but it doesn't matter. So we have story by Yuki Suenaga, art by Takamasa Moe, with translation by Stephen Paul and lettering by Sneer Aron. And you have a wait up, come on, hurry. You have a whoa, ha ha ha, careful. You see a ball just like exploding with fizz. And you see all the people dressed up in kimonos as the lanterns are hanging above as they're all heading down the street in the festival. And you have a bam! And Akane going, the cabbage is all chopped and ready to mix. And Goriko's like, what? You chopped all of it already? He's like, yep. Oh, and as usual, we have Rakugo supervision by Keiki Hayashiya. So I keep thinking, it's Guriko, yeah. I don't know, for some reason I keep thinking it's Goriko instead of Guriko, but it's apparently Guriko. But yeah. And she's like, yep, it wasn't such a big deal. Are you impressed? And you have the sign going, Guriko Yakisoba. And he's like, yeah, I'll compliment you on your tenacity at least. Like, ugh. It's like, but are you sure you weren't putting too much pressure on yourself? Oh, God. I see her holding her hands behind her back. She turns out she's got like a bunch of bandages on the fingers for all the cuts. He's like, no way. It's like, we have to win the sales competition no matter what. Come on, let's get to work. Ooh, how about I got the meat too? And she does a little fist pump. He sees the little bandages on her fingers and he just lets out a sigh. He's like, don't you dare. You've never been to this festival before, right? It's before peak hours. I can handle a stand on my own. You go and enjoy the sights for a little while. Akane's like, enjoy, he says. Now she's walking around, she sees someone just like shivering and shaking. She's like, Koguma-ani-san? So what's the matter? What about your candied apples? He's like, Akane? He's like, well, I was running the stand, but I went... Oh man, never has a character ever been so relatable. But I went over my daily limit of stranger interactions. It's like only 10 strangers per day. It's like, what? It's like, hate customer service, can't do customer service, scary customer service. It's like, but Ani-san, you have there you are. And you have a Hakushu Kashiwaya. He's like, Hakushu Ani-san. We have met this guy somewhere before. but I can't remember where it was from. And Akane's, we've got trouble. It's his phobia of dealing with customers. He's like, I can't keep pitching my product. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll handle this. And he, oh, my fucking god, he's gonna get into like in a sexy performing attire. And he's just pulling out some hair gel and a comb. Yeah, saying an apple a day keeps the doctor away is absolutely true. It's because of apple's natural supply of vitamin C, calcium, fiber, and other nutrients. Each one only has as many calories as a bowl of rice, so you can eat without guilt. It's like, wow, what a perfect speech. You sure know a lot. And you see his like all hair all sexily parted, and he's like looking all glowy and by shonen. He's like, I like to say, it's always more to learn and apply. It's like he's in performance mode. And Akane's like, he's a completely different person. And he's like, oh yeah, do you have a minute, Akane? Can you run an errand for me? He's like, oh, you came to deliver the change we broke for Koguma-kyun? He's like, good job, eat up. It's like, And you see one of the people from Umi just like giving her some chocolate. It's like, look, Kyo-chan, Akane came by to see us. And you see Kyoji, with like these flames burning in his eyes, being like, ah, very good of you to come, Akane. Hold on. I did I as Kyoji, okay. God, why are you doing this to me? He's like, I appreciate the help. And he's like, he's so intense. So you can take your eyes off the chicken long enough to say thank you, you know. He's like, I'm sorry, but charcoal flames are susceptible to humidity. Their strength flickers and changes by the moment, and I must employ constant vigilance to ensure smooth grilling. It's like, okay, this is too intense. And Jeff, easy now, it's not good to get too worked up. It's like, I suppose you're right. Thanks for the warning. And as soon as he takes a bite of the candy, he just collapses with an oof. And Akane's like, Kyoji Ani-san! It's like, Misaragi, what did you give him? It's like, just some wine-flavored chocolates. There's no alcohol in them. And you see he's got a box of brandy chocolate. It's like, oh no, Kyo-chan can get just as drunk on things that are only alcohol flavored. And Akane's like, he's such a wuss. It's like, I'll take him somewhere he can get a little rest. Will you be alright running the stand without him? And you see Kyoji be like, you dummy, you boyo, or you bozo. It's like, thank you. So leave the stand to us. We'll be just fine. Might even be easier this way. It's like, it's always the two of us. It's like, that's kind of sad in a way. You rattle as Akane just like wheeling him away on a little cart. It's like, dummy, bozo. And you have a little doctor's tent going, yep, nothing's wrong with him, as I'm sure you knew. He's like, you dummy, you bozo, you dummy. Thanks for hauling him here. And as she's walking away, she sees Micro Ute's sideshow. Oh my fucking god. You see him just, this fucking like ruffled clothing with like a little umbrella. And the crowd just like tossing like rabbits, like stuffed animals and shit. With it just like all women coming to see this. It's like, alright, darling, it's time to add another wooden cup on his, oh shit, no, actually spinning. He's got the wooden parasol and he's like doing the little like Barker sticker, like he's spinning like dolls and like wooden boxes and stuff on it. He's like, alright, darling, time to add another wooden cup on the spinning parasol. And Connor's like, yikes, this is weird. So I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. It's like, alright, time to get back to work. He's like, rah, rah! And it's just like, she sees this guy all dressed up in a little fundoshi, he's like coat with a she with aspiration. He's like, well, master? It's like, is that you, Akane? It's like, what's going on? It's like, that's what I'm saying! Why are you dressed like that? With your bu-bu-bu-bu-bu-bu? It's like, don't be such a baby. And it was Akane, tighten up your loincloth. She's like, excuse me? It's like, not literally, I meant emotionally. If you want to lighten up and empty your head, you need the right mindset. So go on, be empty-headed. Tighten the loincloth of your heart. It's like, so he wants me to empty my head. But this is work. It's a contest to get the most sales. It's like, it's a real shame. It's like, and the whole point of a contest is to win the... And she looks around and sees like everyone just having fun, enjoying themselves. It's like, no. It's like, I guess I'm the one being stupid. As she takes a deep breath, and then Kyoji's like, hey, you're back. Oh, not Kyoji, sorry. Guriko's like, hey, you're back. It's a good timing. Go ahead and help with it. She's like, Ani-san, it's like, I want to try something real quick. So Akane just takes off a little fan. She's like, good people, if your business is not urgent or official, stay a while and hear me out. What you see here is authentic festival yakisoba made by none other than Guriko, apprentice of Shiguma Arakawa. See the heat rising from the griddle and smell the wafting fragrance of the cooking noodles. Hear the sizzle and occasional pop. Then add salt, pepper, cabbage, beef, and bean sprouts. Taste the savory umami. Experience the satisfying texture of the noodles. Add the delectable yakisoba sauce for the perfect shade of brown we all know and love. Savor the flavor and the scent and take an order for dinner, for a snack, or to accompany a cold beer. It goes well with everything, so you'll want a serving sooner or later. Act now, because it's only for this one day that you too can enjoy Guriko Arakawa's Festival Yakisoba. It's like when they're gone, they're gone. Step right up and have a taste. Yeah, I'll take two. One for me. I want some. And he's like, what happened? He's like, you look totally different than before you left. He's like, I just tightened my loincloth a little. He's like, your loin? It's like, never mind. It's like, come on, come on, come all. It's like, come on, come all. We're ready to cook. Let's go. It's like, yeah. It's like, there's one order of yakisoba. Two, please. It's like, coming right up. So that'll be 500 yen. You see, Shikisai Festival Rakugo, 6 p.m. open to 6:30 p.m. start. Order Zenza Akane Arakawa, Futatsume Guriko Arakawa. Interesting. They're doing another Rakugo thing. So, again, we'll go from the beginning to end with quick thoughts. So, I don't know. I kind of wish they kind of dragged this out for at least a couple of chapters. I feel like there's more possibility you could have milked out of this whole setup, but that's fine. You know, I get that, you know, for Rakugo manga, you're like, you know, you don't want to get too lost in the weeds. You know, you don't want to get people being like wondering what the hell's happening with, you know, the filler, so to speak. So it makes sense to kind of like wrapping it up. We're like, all right, we have to move on to the next thing. So not a big, huge deal. Apart from that, again, it was interesting, nice seeing kind of like the different disparities in personalities between all the other students, and like the way they behave and act with regards to the festival. So that made for a little bit of good comedy moments. Especially like Koguma just like flipping the hair back and like becoming all sexy. That was really amusing. Apart from that, again, like I mentioned in the last couple of chapters, like because I'm not too emotionally invested in like the whole like, oh, you know, Kane's being like all despondent and like depressed about her loss. The moment with like, you know, with Shiguma telling her like, you know, tighten up the loincloth of your heart, you know, take it easy, relax, stuff like that. It doesn't really hit me that hard. And again, I feel like it was too rapid, like it was too rapid from Akane being like, you know, all sad and despondent to being like, you know, no, I'm gonna hype myself up, like, you know, this is what it's all about. That's why I said, like, you know, giving her a few more chapters where she is walking through the festival, where she'd interact with some of the other brokers, you know, she saw them kind of, you know, selling, doing all that stuff. If she had conversations with the other brokers, be like, you know, how do you keep doing this year after year after year? Or if someone was like, you know, how do you talk about, or if you talk to them about sales, be like, you know, what happens if you don't get good sales, stuff like that. If she had some conversations with them, kind of understood, like, you know, the struggles of, like, you know, yeah, you won't always succeed, but, you know, just try again. That kind of thing. I feel like that would have lent a little bit more credence to her, like her sudden 180, which is like, oh, you know, like I need to get back into like being regular Akane again. But overall, not a terrible chapter. Looking forward to seeing what the Rakugo performance specifically is going to be like. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so like I mentioned at the beginning, channel update will be out by now along with the other chapters of Akane. Expect hopefully at least 2 new read-throughs today on the channel sometime. Maybe 3 if I could swing it. If not, just the 2 for today, and I'll get around to the new ones next week. But like I mentioned, a lot of great content coming your way the next little while. So if you haven't already, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, especially if you enjoy these videos. Like I mentioned at the beginning, it really does mean a lot to me to see people tell me they enjoy stuff like this. So yeah, so until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.